In a moment to make his presentation. We're here, and the theme of this luncheon, the theme of this gathering, is building bridges across boundaries. And by that, we do not exclude any boundary. It may be national boundaries, it may be regional boundaries, it may be based on ethnicity or religion or whatever. I think what we are about and what all of you are about is building bridges so that people can come together. And the awards today will be for that purpose, to recognize leaders amongst us who have exemplified this building bridges.
We are meeting here at this famous Friars Club. I don't know how many of you are aware that this is where the celebrity roast takes place. We have, as two organizations, been involved in several projects over the years. The one defining moment for us had been actually the observing the United Nations World Interfaith Harmony Week by holding interfaith dialogues at the UN for the last 3 years. Many of them actually were not able to carry on their business and were confined to homes. So we thought we could help them with food and able to pay rent. And His Excellency Ambassador Tete Antonio was particularly helpful in this regard. We approached him that there was a need for mobilizing diaspora here to help the fellow Africans. And he made available the Mandela Hall at the African Union Mission for us and sat through the proceedings. And for that we thank him very much. So, but the other thing that we have been doing over the last 2 years practically, or a year and a half, has been how do we make a difference in the Ebola epidemic that has been ravaging the West Africa. In December with the first case of Ebola.
And so the club has its energy about building bridges across boundaries, as does the United African Congress and Give Them a Hand Foundation. So I'm very pleased that you're here.
I would like
Enjoy.
to acknowledge the presence of Ambassador Tete Antonio, who is the permanent representative of the African Union, permanent observer mission to the United Nations, Ambassador Zinzu, who is the permanent representative of Benin to the United Nations, and we also have the Charge d'Affaires of Equatorial Guinea, Ms. Isabel Soma Aroma, and welcome you all. We're hoping that one of the persons I would like to invite up is Richard Liu. Richard Liu is the Vice President of the Director of Marketing for the recording company VP Records, and the singer Etana from one of the VP Records artists has sung a great song about Better Tomorrow. What you, VP Records and Etana, have done, I think is quite inspiring. The countries support them, we should. And we will be doing a very big push with the song for the Scholarship Fund. Who fell in love with Africa, fell in love with Sierra Leone. He went and
what I've been doing is putting out a daily golden news summary ever since then. So what I do is I pull together all the major news stories from around the world, from the African press, and I put that out every night to keep everyone informed on what's happening. I just wanted to reinforce what Mr. Liu said. I think one of the great tragedies of the whole Ebola crisis has been the number of orphans that have come out of Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea.
The next person I will invite up to speak is Dr. Edmund Burke. He is a distinguished professor of medicine in the SUNY Downstate Medical Center, and he also carries with him a certain mystique and familiar relationship to the highest seats of power in the United States. He also happens to be the father of the U.S. ambassador, or the permanent representative of the United States to the United Nations.
At its height, when the outbreak was at its height, the governor of New York and the governor of New Jersey, Governors Christie and Cuomo, were going to talk about those who had gone to try and help nurses and doctors and others, they would have to be cordoned off. It was sort of a dreadful message to send. And I was very pleased to get back to my daughter in response to that. I booked a flight to visit all three countries to visit and meet the medical personnel in order to demonstrate that there was no fear, nothing to be feared, and to end that dreadful approach of the two governors.
I'd like to thank Dr. Kerry Ensign and the largest African artifacts collections held in private hands, in particular in African American hands in the United States. And with a team that I put together, comprising approximately 22 people, we're working vigorously to open a museum of African art in preferably Brooklyn, New York, by year in 2016. In particular, I want to thank the United African Congress, is represented by Sadiq Wai and Dr. Nurgasingh.
Interlude of music, and we will also is. Then we will go with the presentation of the awards to the ambassadors, and then continue with the program.
We'll be a better tomorrow. Richard, how are you doing?
Okay. I'm
Be a better tomorrow. We'll be a better tomorrow. We'll be a better tomorrow.
You know, and then I had Native American grandparents, and then I had Ethiopian. I've traced my roots back to Ethiopia, and so I am the face of what the world is. And I think having come through this civil human rights as an attorney, as an advocate, you know, whenever I think about Ebola, I think about the HIV and AIDS crisis, and how in 1980, you know, the Human Rights Commission were the only ones who were supporting victims of this disease. And it didn't sort of catch on until people who were non-people of color became, you know, were also involved with it. And I think that that's how we sort of run with things in this country.
I'm going to actually to come and introduce the ambassadors who will be making these presentations to. Mr. White?
Your Excellencies, you know, I was just thinking that being in this room is the closest I've been to Hollywood. Because this is the same, this is where all the comedians and the rich people, nice people come. But thank you so much. I think my job here is to, Ambassador about someone that embodies Africa in its truest sense, not only as a diplomat, but someone that really lives the African dream. Is Ambassador Tete. Ambassador has been our mentor, has been a champion. He has actually been the face of the African Union in this country.
Yes.
I can say that.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Africa's ambassador, my brother, Ambassador Tete. Judy.
Yeah. It's the unwrapping. Very ceremonial.
I think unwrapping is a lot better than unraveling. Ambassador Tete Antonio, recipient of our first Building Bridges Across Boundaries Award. New York, December 16, 2015, United African Congress and Gifted Hand Foundation. I take great pleasure.
Wow.
Said, at least for the first time, I'm going to lunch here. So, but then this is happening. Really to thank from the bottom of my heart for this hour, building the bridge across boundaries of the world. It is very meaningful to me because really I think human beings have no boundaries. We are just human beings, good or bad. So if you follow, you try to define your friendship, looking at the face of the person, is tall or white or black or yellow, then you will always make mistakes. So I really, I think this is the only lesson we learn here. Now we spoke about Ebola, we spoke about art, and yet it is only our solidarity which makes things happen. We organized the meeting as on the lessons learned from the airport. I think we need to share those lessons with you. I made a statement at the Security Council on the same issue. So that for the future, when we go to such difficult situation, we can know what to do. But most important is prevention. We are doing a center in Addis Ababa office. Of Center for Control and Prevention of Diseases. Because prevention was lacking, infrastructure was lacking. Those are some of the lessons we learned. Eric, thank you very much for what you are doing for African. We really thank the government of Equatorial Guinea for also to have this dream of all of us come together. And we stand and support you. Thank all of you, friends, brothers, sisters, and brothers, for coming here. I'm very happy to be from Ambassador since we have come a long way, and it's only right that you bring us again together to receive this very humbly this hour which is going to stand in my office. Thank you very much.